What up, everyone? I'm Heatfire. In today's video, we're going to talk about paternity fraud. Let's get it. Okay, so after doing a few research, I'm going to find out that 30% of men are victims of paternity fraud. It's stated that 3 out of 10 men will raise children that are not theirs, and they're still placed on the hook for child support. Now, this right here in front of me is a statistics and cases from study.com, and it says this: is paternity fraud a crime? An example of paternity fraud would be a mother claiming a man is the biological father of her child when he is not, so that she will receive child support. In the United States, paternity fraud does not break the law. She is in not a crime of punishable offense. So it is not a crime of or punishable offense. Excuse me. To date, there are no instances of any criminal consequences for paternity fraud crimes. So again, a woman can be married, she can cheat around on her husband, get pregnant, he'll think that the kid is his when the kid is biologically not his, and he can find out and still be liable for child support. Now, this is an issue because it gives women a free pass to basically do whatever they want. It is a system designed to weigh men down and let women run amok. They get to do whatever they want in today's society. Now, I know out here in the West, in America, child support is a big thing. It really is. And women are allowed to alienate the father with no consequences. They're allowed to cheat, no consequences. But let's turn the tables. Let's say that the man cheats on his wife. They have no kids. He goes around and he gets another woman pregnant. Well, the woman, his wife, she can still divorce him for half his shit. She'll still win in court. She can, pretty sure, more than likely sue him for emotional distress. But when it comes to the women cheating, it's not frowned upon in court. They're not held responsible for any of that. And let me show you another thing right here on Twitter. I don't know if you can read this. Let me see if I can get it. Zoom in. If I'm able to. No, I'm not. Okay. Well, anyways, it says, can a man be forced to pay child support for a child that is not his? And it says, in fact, under the laws of most states, even if you find out that the child you've been supporting is not your biological child, you will still be on the hook for child support until the child reaches 18. In the eyes of the law, a father-child relationship has been established. Now, this is a problem because, one, it's criminal. It's criminal for even the state to say, hey, even though this kid isn't yours, you're going to raise them as if he were yours. You're going to adopt this kid because, a father-child relationship has been established. They're not going to look at the mom for any damages whatsoever. Why? Well, because it comes down to finances. It comes down to money. I already did a video called The Pink Tax explaining how women spend more money than men and how women are more expensive. Well, the state knows this. The statistics show this, and if they get a huge incentive on putting dads in court and placing them on child support, and it's a huge moneymaker. It is a well thought out design, and being a man in today's society it's dangerous. It's dangerous to be a man. We are victims in today's society, but we're blamed for every damn thing. And thanks to the feminist movement, women today, they're just it's sad. You got 304s out here doing whatever, bragging on TikTok, bragging on Facebook, and how they put their baby daddy on child support and they're not letting them see the kids. There is no crime against it. And, I don't blame men for walking away from situations like this. Now, I'm not saying all women will do this, but I've watched enough videos, I've read enough articles to know that it's not all women, but it's the majority of the women who are doing these things. And there are men out there, such as myself. I do believe, in relationships. I do believe that not all women are out to do men harm. It's just when it's prevalent that it does happen, and it happens very often. It makes you wonder, are relationships even worth it? Is wanting to start a family even worth it? When the game's rigged against you, you have to, think and just put your hands up and say, hey, I'm walking away from this. There's no point. I'm gonna lose anyway. It's a lose-lose situation. You get a woman, start a family, at any given moment she can blow it up. And then you're on the hook for child support, spousal support. But men, we don't get that option. We have to grin and bear it. And it's a bitter pill. It really is. And I'm gonna end up with this. It's a TikTok account called Family Law NYC. And he's talking about bastardization and paternity fraud. So let's have a listen, and then we'll discuss.
So this commentator hit on something that's really problematic. It's called paternity fraud. I don't know if any of you have heard of it, but you'll hear about it now. Paternity fraud happens in two instances. The first one is what's called the presumption of paternity for a married couple. If two people are married, then any child born to either of those people during that marriage is considered the issue of the marriage. Thus, that child, if the child is born to the wife, that the husband is considered the father. There's a rebuttable presumption of this, a legal rebuttable presumption of this. The second instance when paternity fraud happens is when a couple is not married or a woman is not married. She convinces somebody to sign the acknowledgement of paternity, however she does it. The fact is, it happens all too often, and then when it comes out later that this child is not, that the father is not actually the biological father, there are a lot of instances when the courts will simply not want to hear it and will not hear it. They'll use something called equitable estoppel, because if it is determined that the child recognizes the man, husband, ex-husband, just, ex-boyfriend, whatever, to be the child's father, the court will not, and this is the legal term, bastardize the child. There is a public policy, at least in New York, against bastardizing children. I see this from kind of the two angles. The first angle is obviously the father's angle. There's a fraud. It was committed. The wife was unfaithful. The girlfriend just lied to him. She was sleeping around, and he was the least onerous possible man in her life that could be the father of the child. I've actually heard testimony. I've heard women actually go on the record and admit that they didn't know and they just assumed and they had no idea and they were sleeping around, but they wanted this person to be the father. It's terrible. It's fraud. It's straight up fraud. The second instance, the second part of the equation is the child's. This child knows somebody to be its father. And to have that knowledge taken away, for that person to be ripped out of that child's life is cruel and wrong, and the law recognizes that. That's where equitable estoppel comes from. So there are no winners when this happens. There are only losers. I have to question the father, the parent, who would just divorce themselves from a child because that child is not biologically his, even if they raised that child for years and years and years. It's a sad state of affairs. The more you know.
All right, so there you have it. Equitable estoppel. So there's a few things he said that I disagree with. One that sticks off the top of my head is he said he has to question the father who divorces himself from the kid that's not his. Well, if the kid isn't biologically yours, you're not going to feel a connection as if the kid was yours. You just won't have that bond. It will not be there. This kid doesn't belong to you. The mom, yeah, that's her baby. She can do whatever she wants. And still, at any given moment, she can rip the child away. Why is it that the courts look at the man as being the wrongful person here for divorcing himself from the child that's not his, when the woman isn't being reprimanded at all for even cheating, for even bringing the kid into this world, knowing that she's unfaithful to be a mom. They can see it, but it comes down to money. It all comes down to money. Men are held at such a high standard. For what reason? If that's the case, if men are held to a high standard, then we should be able to divorce ourselves from the kids that are not ours. Keep integrity. But that's not the case. If the women want to mess around, they can mess around, they can get pregnant and force the husband to raise a kid that's not his and still play so much house for a kid that's not his. But the deadbeat who she got pregnant by, he's not going to be on the hook for anything. Why? Because she can choose who she wants to be the father. She can choose who she wants to be the father. You've never had to touch her a day in your life. You never even have to have sex with her, say hi to her or anything. She can go off and get pregnant and just point you out. Boom. There you are. You're stuck with it. It is wrong. It is criminal. And like he said, it happens far too often. He said there are no winners. Everyone loses. Well, I beg to differ. She wins. The kid loses. Yeah. The husband loses. She wins. She got to have her fun. She got to have a kid. She got to place a man on child support. And if he refuses, there you have it. He's locked in. And it's very, very sad. It's disgusting. But that's how it is in our society today. So I'm gonna go ahead and end there, you guys. Yeah. This was a hard video to make, knowing the truth. But if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, comments, share this video, and subscribe. And let me know your guys' thoughts about this fraternity fraud and how there's no criminal repercussions. But I'll go ahead and I'll catch you guys later. Late.